Hello and welcome back to Radiant Dawn 0% Growths. This is the tower exterior, I guess. I wanted to show what I'm doing in terms of who's going into the tower and that sort of thing before I actually get into the chapter. Unfortunately, there's a sort of awkward like three-step thing with the tower where basically you have the base, which I've already done that and kind of skipped over it because it's really annoying when you have literally the entire cast of the game in your unit list to like find the units that you're trying to like equip, but you kind of have to do it before you leave because you can't, for whatever reason, if you go to outfit here and manage, you can't do skills here. That's like the one thing you can't do. You can do supports, you can do items, you can do the shop, but you can't do skills. I don't know why. So you have to like get everything set up in the base, and then you come to this screen where you actually choose your units, and then you go into battle preps for the actual chapter, at which point you can't return here, so you can't, do what you normally might do in pretty much every other chapter in the game, which is bounce back and forth between like looking at the chapter and rearranging your units, and then like going back and changing stuff that way. So it's a whole mess. Although at least they allow you to actually like move the skills and items stuff around, unlike at the beginning of Part 4 when you're splitting the armies up. If they ever remake this game, that's definitely like a quality of life thing that they really ought to change. Is just like to give you full base access for both of those things. I don't see any reason that you shouldn't have it. Anyway, so I wanted to start here just because it'll be easier to see what's going on relative to starting in the base, but like didn't want to jump like straight into the chapter prep screen itself because I still want to be able to show like who all of the units actually, or be able to compare all of the units, not just the ones that I'm actually taking. And actually, it occurs to me, I didn't actually save the list of units that I am bringing. I have my battle prep saved, but I didn't save that intermediate step, so I guess I have to kind of reselect here. So that was kind of foolish of me, I suppose. So the first two units we're going to bring are two new units, so let's talk about them in that context. We are finally joined by Kaenigis, the Lion King, as well as his right-hand man, Gifka. And so, yeah, these two are just absolute powerhouses with the highest attack values in the game. Kaenigis has 66 attack, Gifka has 64, although if you have a transfer for Gifka from Path of Radiance, even if all you have to do is deploy Gifka, because he has capped strength in Path of Radiance, he gets a strength transfer, and he actually ends up having more damage than Kaenigis, because he gets 23 strength instead of 21. And then instead of doing 64, he'll do 68 damage. But I don't have that. I didn't do any data transfer. Gifka does have a speed advantage, 36 to 34, which is relevant. I'm not sure how quickly it becomes relevant. It's certainly not relevant in this chapter. The first chapter for E1 is all relatively slow enemies. Like in terms of the class types, I mean the enemies are still fast in like absolute terms, but it's all generals, sages. I guess there's like a couple snipers. Those are not slow enemies, but other than that, it's all generals, sages, bishops. I think that's it. Anyway, so the point is, yeah, it's plenty enough speed for this chapter. But eventually that speed difference can matter, and is one of the reasons that there are definitely situations where Gifka can be the better unit just because he has that extra 2 speed. But otherwise, Kaenigis certainly has the edge. I mean, obviously he comes with form shift, so he automatically transforms, unlike Gifka, who's got to spend a turn using the Lagoon's gem. Kaenigis has 4 more defense. Gifka does have 2 more res. Kaenigis has a little bit more speed, or sorry, skill, and HP. That stuff doesn't matter so much. The 4 extra defense is pretty nice, though. But I mean, they're both just like incredibly good units. They're pretty much like anything that they're doubling, they're gonna kill, with the exception of like Degensia and Ashera, I guess. And they're doubling most things. They can also, obviously activate Roar with a very high rate, because it's like 44% for Gifka and 46% for Kanagus, assuming it is skill percent, which it probably is. I think not all of the mastery skills are skill percent, but I think most of them are. But yeah, there's not too much complexity to them. They're just like incredibly powerful, and you use them to kill things. So the next unit we're going to be bringing is, of course, Tivarn. Whoops. Damn it. Hit the wrong button. I mean, we've already seen Tivarn in action. We know he doubles everything. He doesn't do quite as much damage as the Lions, but he deals plenty of damage. He isn't quite as bulky as the Lions, but he's plenty bulky. We've given him the boots. He's got Flight and Canto. He's very, very useful. And obviously a no-brainer pick. Next up is Nyla. So again, I mean, we're kind of falling down the list of from no-brainers to not no-brainers, but we still haven't gotten out of no-brainer territory. Like, is she as good as Tivarn? No, but she's still very, very good. We've seen her in action. I think it's possible when you're playing on growths, even if you're not grinding like crazy, to get to a point where some of your Bayork units are better than Nyla by the time you're getting into the tower, or at least are better than her by towards the end of the tower. But in 0% growths, that's not even remotely the case. And she's definitely an auto pick. I mean, she's still gonna be tower worthy, even if that is the case. It's just then she becomes more of a secondary unit. But here she's definitely a primary unit. Then we've got Nasala. Nasala, of course, we've seen has some drawbacks in terms of his damage output, but very high skill activation rate to help make up for it, and has the Flight and Canto. So arguably better than Nyla, really. Especially if he does get to SS Strike. And I will say, he's actually pretty close. I think what I said when I first reviewed him in 4P was probably accurate, that because I leaned on him more heavily in the pre-tower chapters. He got a lot more strike rank than he did the last time I tried this, so I think he might actually get to SS as soon as 4E2. We'll see how much that matters, but hey, I mean, if he upgrades his beak from 13 to 18 might, then I believe, yeah, then he's within 2 damage of Nyla, which, I mean, obviously her damage output will still be a little bit better, but he's got the speed advantage and the Flight and Canto thing. So that, I mean, at that point, I would say he probably is just better than her. Next up, we are going to dip into Bayork units with Stefan. So, I mean, I talked about this. This is no surprise. Stefan is, like I said, the discount version of what Mio would be in a growth playthrough. He is definitely not going to be a tentpole unit for us, but he's going to be pretty reliable at killing things, even though he's probably not going to have guaranteed 1-round kills on very many enemies. Yeah, that's probably all that needs to be said about that. After that, we're going to go and grab another new unit, and that's Running. And Running is a new unit, not just in the sense that he's new to our party right now, but also in the sense that I have literally never used him in any capacity whatsoever. So he is definitely the classic late joining pre-promote that's there if you in case you didn't train somebody or that sort of thing. he and his stats reflect that sort of both in terms of being good and in terms of being bad, if that makes sense. So obviously for 0% growths, his stats are like fine or even good. They're not amazing. 29 speed in particular is like, it's doubling some enemies, but in this chapter, but certainly not all of the enemies, and it's probably not going to do a whole lot after this chapter, although we're not going to need him to do much after this chapter. You know, like, certainly it's better, you know, it's better than any of our other Bayark units except Stefan and Volk, I think. And actually, I guess Mia has 30 speed. But obviously, running has a lot more strength, has more movement, has more durability, etc. Access to axes. But yeah, I mean, I guess the point is that his stats are like high enough to make him like viable for the tower, but low enough, especially at level 16, that like you're not exactly being rewarded for not training somebody else up to use instead, because like you're not really going to be able to do bonus XP abuse on him. He's only got 4 levels to go. You know, and because the paladin class line does not have the best of class caps anyway. So you know, you'd rather be training somebody like Har or Jill or I don't know, you know, Titania probably, just because, you know, like you're going to be able to get more stats out of Titania in a growth playthrough. But here, he's definitely going to put in some work. I guess I might as well talk about the axes now. I sold a lot of stuff. I've got a bunch of money. I had 3 coins left. I mean, I didn't really need to forge anything at all, to be honest, but I figured I might as well. So I forged him 3 axes to test what the coins were going to give me, and they gave me +1 damage and +5 crit, so we have the damage axe, +10 crit, so I forged an axe with +15 crit from the forge, so now he's got like the +25 crit axe, and then +20 hit, so he's got an accuracy axe. I don't even know if any of this is going to matter. It probably isn't, to be honest, but mostly he's here because he can use the hammer. Like I said, there's a lot of generals in this chapter, and it is a route, so being able to use the hammer is pretty key. Unfortunately, he caps out at A axis, so he cannot use the Irvan, which we do get going into this chapter. That would be a really nice thing to be able to give him. That has 22 might compared to like the 20 might of this axe. It also has like 110 hit, but oh well. Next up, we have somewhere down here, Shinon. Now, Shinon obviously statistically is lagging behind like the other units that we're choosing to bring into the tower by a lot. Choosing as opposed to the ones that are required. Oh, and I guess we gotta do new unit discussions on these two, so I'd try to remember to do that. The main reason Shinon is here is to kill dragons in 4E3. I don't know how many dragons we're actually going to need to kill. Like, I've heard that the chapter can be 1-turned, I think, or maybe 2-turned. I've never done it myself. I've usually routed the map because I find that to be, or at least come close to routing the map because I find that to be more fun in general, if I'm training units, but obviously in 0% growth we're not going to be doing that. So we'll see whether this proves to be even necessary. But honestly, like at this point, we've transitioned from like units that are like viable and helpful and like quite good to, well, we gotta pick somebody and there's a niche for them probably. Shinon being the first of those units, and so the niche is like he can attack from 3 range. We can get him the double bow, which has a ton of might, and it's got 22 might, and it also gives +3 strength, so effectively has 25 might. So that gives Shinon 48 attack, which is the same as, for example, Volk with the base lard. Now, obviously, Volk with the base lard can double, but Shinon can attack from 1 to 3 range with the double bow, and Vulcan only attack from 1 range. And Shinon, and in particular, like in this chapter, there's some gaps that Shinon can attack across, which is actually pretty relevant because like one of them, literally none of the Lagoos can kill this one enemy because he's like out on this little like island. You have to use like a 2-range weapon to kill him. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be literally Shinon that does it, but like somebody's got to do it. Anyway, so and then in the dragon chapter, the double bow might deal enough damage with the bonus damage, but I think maybe not. But he can use the crossbows to kill dragons with dragon foe. So yeah, that's basically the logic there. Like he's definitely like a niche addition, not like a unit that we're going to be relying on to do a whole lot. Next up is going to be Scrimmer. So we've got 2 Lagoos gems, and one of them is going to obviously be Gifka's, the other one is Scrimmer's. Scrimmer with Resolve has 39 speed. That allows him to double everything, or just about everything. I think literally everything. Getting him into Resolve range is not going to be trivial, of course, and that's like... And keeping him alive once he's there is not going to be trivial either, and that's the reason why, like, he's more of like a... You know, I don't know, like a Shinon tier addition, I guess, to the party. But, you know, but he can do some enemy phasing against 1-range units, like, fairly effectively if he's either in Resolve range or, like, getting into Resolve range. You know, I think the other options that we have, like, to use instead of him really don't bring anything more to the table. I mean, I can go over some of those and what I think they can and can't do in a bit, but I do think Scrimmer like brings more to the table. And then our final unit is going to be Oliver. So I mentioned last chapter that maybe I could bring Bastion. It turns out that Bastion's magic weapon, staff weapon rank caps out at A, and the Fortify is an S rank staff that I really want to be able to use. Like, I don't know how often I'm going to need to use it, but I want to have the option. Oliver is definitely a worse combat unit. He's slower, he has less magic, so he's also, like, you know, in terms of, like, range and, healing amount, he's a worse, you know, he's a worse staff user, but, like, having the ability to use the Fortify could end up being really important, and we wouldn't really be counting on either one of them to deal much damage anyway, so I'm not like super perturbed by not being able to bring Bastion. I mean, I think it would have been cool to do it just because I've never really used Bastion, although I guess I've never really used Oliver either. But yeah, that's the situation. And while so that's the whole party. And while I'm talking about weapon ranks, there's a whole bunch of arm scrolls for sale this chapter. So I bought a couple that I gave to Ike to max out his axe rank, so now he can use the Irvan. So if we need him to do a little bit extra damage with that, we have that option because it has 4 more might than the Ragnail. Of course, it isn't a 2-range weapon, which is a downside, but and then likewise, I gave Oliver 3 arm scrolls, 1 to raise his staff rank from A to S, and 2 to raise his light rank from... No, wait. Well, whatever. One of them was at A, one of them was at S, now they're both at SS. He doesn't need a SS for light this chapter, but the Lacane drops the Rex Aura, which is the SS Light Tome. Right now, the most powerful tome Oliver can use is the Val Aura, which has 8 might, and the Rex Aura has like 12 or something. I don't know. It's more. We might as well give it to him. I have 1 more arm scroll, so I'm holding on to that in reserve because I might want to give it to Micaiah at some point if it becomes relevant for her to have a higher staff rank. Oh, but by the way, Micaiah promoted. Hooray. She still only has 5 staff range. She has slightly more healing, I guess. Whatever. Um, anyway, but yeah, I might want to upgrade her staff rank at some point if that becomes relevant for whatever reason. If it doesn't, the other option, and I've got the arm scroll there on Soth, is to give it to Soth to raise him to SS daggers so that he can use the base lard. I don't necessarily expect that to be relevant, but I want to at least have the option. And speaking of that, I mean, obviously the reason we would consider doing that is because we're not bringing Volk. I think it's worth talking a little bit about like some of the other options, you know, like, that we could consider. I talked about Bastion. I think Volk is the main other one that I would have considered bringing. I mentioned before that I have brought him into the tower before. Where the heck is he? Ah. Volk. Okay. I've mentioned that I brought him into the tower before. He does compare favorably to Shinon in terms of like just straight up damage output, and is like easier to get, you know, doubling than Scrimmer. Scrimmer certainly has more like per hit attack, but like, you know, Volk's durability is not that good, and like Scrimmer is going to be able to do some stuff that Volk isn't, just in terms of movement, but also in terms of enemy phasing. Like I said, Shinon fills a niche. So I think, you know, overall, like, and plus my experience with Volk was not like that impressive, and that was with growths where he did gain some stats over the course of being in the tower. Not too many, because he didn't do a whole lot, but then again, that's sort of the point. So I don't know. We'll see if I end up regretting that. I mean, certainly we don't need like Thief utility. We have Soth if we really want it, but I don't think there's any real call for it. There's one chest in this chapter, and then there's no more. And I'm not getting the chest in this chapter anyway. I don't think there's anybody else. Well, I guess the other people I was kind of sort of considering were the Hawks. The Hawks have the same amount of speed as the Lions, so like, you know that their speed isn't going to be a problem, really. At least not until like very, very late. But their damage output is just like a little bit too low. Even though they didn't manage to get to S-Strike, Janoph has, let's see, 45 attack, and Ulki has 41. That's lower than, you know, Shinon with the double bow. That's lower than Volk with the base lard. And, you know, like Ike with the Ragnell and other characters who aren't actually dealing that much damage anyway. So, I mean, they'd mostly be dealing chip damage, and being able to deal chip damage at one range is, and maybe that's another way of putting it with Volk too, is that like being able to deal chip damage at one range is like not that great, because, you know, you're gonna potentially be taking a counterattack a lot more often. Whereas, like, you know, Ike with the Ragnell or Shinon with the double bow can deal that damage at 2 range. Or Sonic-y, for example. I mean, not that we have the option of not taking Ike or Sonic-y, but just, you know, to give an idea. Yeah, I don't really think there's anybody else who would even be worth considering bringing. Like, I could imagine a world where it turns out that what you really want is, like, Alencia, because she could, like, fly forward and use the rescue staff or something. You know, but whatever. If there's something that specific, I'm not gonna know it until I get there anyway. So, I guess before we finally get into the chapter, the only other thing we need to do is talk about Kurthnaga and Ina. So, they just joined the chapter or the party as well. Oh, actually, we got to go over like skill stuff, I guess. Ugh. Okay, so yeah, Kurthnaga and Ina are like almost like your trainee units when you go into the tower, which is like pretty silly to have for, you know, like thing that's called endgame, to have trainee units joining you that you have to bring. But they do have some utility, regardless of the fact that they're pretty weak, in the form of their like boon or tide or whatever the skills are called. Ina has blood tide. Kurthnaga has Night Tide. I guess they're all called Tide. No, I think the one is called White Pool. Anyway, whatever. Kurthnaga gives adjacent people defense and res +5, and Ina gives them strength and skill +5. These can be very relevant for like being able to hit, you know, thresholds that you wouldn't otherwise hit in terms of damage output where Ina is concerned, or being able to tank, you know, more enemies where Krithnaga is concerned. They also they can do some chip damage at range. They have 1 to 2 range weapons, but like overall their stats are not really like supporting doing a whole lot with that. You know, Krithnaga has 20 transform speed. He's got 42 attack, which, you know, is like, I was just, you know, dumping on Janna for having 45, and so 42, again, not great. I mean, he can use it at 2 range, that is nice. He's decently bulky with 30 defense and 30 res and 55 HP, but he's so slow that, like, in general, he can't fight more than, like, 1 enemy at a time. A similar story with Ina. 22 speed means she's still getting doubled by just about everything. Her attack, she is a strength. Why the heck does she have 15 magic and 10 strength? Because I'm pretty sure the red dragons attack with strength. I think only the white dragons attack with magic. Anyway, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the case. And so she's got like 33 attack, which is just like trash. She just generally does like 0 damage. She's you know, I mean, durability-wise, like, similar, but yeah, she's... You can use Kurth to do some chip damage or finish some enemies off, that kind of thing. Ina, not really. I may have said that, implied that that was the case for both of them, but it's really just Kurth. Like, Ina really can't. On the other hand, Ina's support skill is more valuable. The strength and skill thing, the strength in particular, is very valuable. The boon thing that she's got can also be nice, being able to restore units, like if there's... although I think the only status staves are in 4E1, and I'm not really making use of that particular skill here, but, you know, in general, that's a nice thing, and maybe I'm forgetting some later ones. I've got... I guess we can transition to talking about skills. I've got Wild Heart on both of them in case I want to do anything like that. I threw a bunch of skills onto people that I didn't necessarily need because I don't have the opportunity to like shuffle the skills again without going all the way back out and like reselecting my units, which is really annoying. But so like, you know, like I put Paragon on them just so that like maybe if they get enough levels, like they can increase their skill capacities, and I can put other skills on them, even though I've got a bunch of skills on them already, so evidently they don't need a ton of skill capacity. But, I don't know. Like, what else am I going to do with these Paragon scrolls? Anyway, so they both have Wild Heart. Krithnaga's got Smite, and Savior for some reason. Other stuff, I gave Volk's Stillness to Sonicky. Possibly that would be better used on like Soth or Oliver. Micaiah, there's no point. Like she'll get attacked regardless. But I think I've got Shade on Soth and Stillness on Sonicky. Maybe I should flip it around. Probably doesn't matter too much. I've got Resolve and Vantage on Ike. That didn't end up coming into play. I'm not sure if it possibly could. Like, if things go a little bit differently in terms of, like, hit rates or whatever, but I don't think so. I think there aren't enough enemies attacking Ike in this chapter for it to matter. But the idea is, like, that, you know, he's got the 27 speed, which is not enough to double almost anything at this point, and if you're attacking at 2 range, then you can't proc Ether, so, like, there is some possibility you could, like, do some stuff with Resolve Ike. But it doesn't really come up here. Kanegus has Renewal, Nihil, and Pass. The Renewal doesn't really matter. The Nihil and Pass do. So, Lacane is the boss of this chapter. He has Flare, so we got Nihil on a couple of units so that we can safely take him out. And then Pass is to get into the midst of some enemies. Gifka has some of the same stuff. He's also got Parity. That was intended to allow him to kill Lacane, I think, but it doesn't end up mattering. I don't know. He had space for it. So in the tower you get the cover tiles and the wardwood tiles, which provide +10 defense and +10 res respectively. So you can use parity to counteract those bonuses. But I think I think it didn't. I had some idea in mind for it, and then it didn't end up mattering. I don't know. Yeah, he's also got the Nihil Pass thing. Tivarn has Celerity and Nullify, so we got the movement on him. I'm not 100% sure he actually needs that, or that I couldn't have done put it on somebody else, but I'm not sure who else I would have put it on anyway. Nullify is there so that he can kill the guy who's got the double bow without taking 66 damage, I think it would be. Or at least if he gets hit. Nyla's got Pavice and Adept. Adept allows her to kill generals that she wouldn't otherwise be able to one round. She's not the only one who has that problem. Like Tivarn, some of the generals he may not quite be able to one round. Even Kanegas and Gifka can't necessarily one round the ones that are standing on cover tiles. We've only got... Well, they come a lot closer to being able to do it, and they don't need it otherwise, and Nyla does, and so, anyway, this is what I went with. The Pavice logic here is kind of similar to last chapter, or not last chapter, 2 chapters ago, 4-4, where, Kanegas and Gifka are getting hit less often and have more HP. So we give Nyla Pavice because, if she would get hit, well, and they're getting hit for less damage. So I think Nyla gets, more value out of it, whereas they get more value out of Renewal. Nisala has Adept and Cancel. I mean, it's like the classic Swordmaster build, except he's not a Swordmaster, but, he kind of is, in terms of his stat distribution. Stefan, same thing, so there you go. Renning has Parity and Daunt. The Parity, again, I just threw that on him because I figured I might as well have it on someone in case I need him to run up and try to attack one of those generals that are on the cover tiles. I don't think it really comes up. Daunt, he's the one who's at the most risk of dying on enemy phase, I think. Although the risk is pretty low, but Daunt makes it a little bit lower. Shinon, I put the Dragonfall on him now, because why not? He has Wrath. That doesn't come into play, whatever. Scrimmer has Resolve still, and then has a bunch of other stuff, because he has so much skill capacity and, nothing there. I did get him his Mastery skill, Roar. He hasn't gotten to S Strike, of course, but, he needs Roar to be able to kill some enemies, and, well, I should say, some of the generals that he's going to fight, he can't hit KO. So having the Roar available means that, things go have the potential to go a little bit more smoothly. There's a little bit less risk of, him, killing nobody and then taking damage from everybody and then being at risk of dying on a subsequent turn, that sort of thing. Once it gets put into resolve range. And then the other skills are just sort of whatever. I just slap some stuff on there. I will say, I feel in theory, resolve and vantage ought to be pretty good together, right? You get into resolve range and then you activate vantage half again more often, and you kill things before they can attack you, so you don't, you're not as likely to die. But I don't know. It doesn't really seem to matter. And Oliver has nothing. There was something else that I, sort of saw as I was going through that I wanted to mention. But I don't remember what now. Well, maybe I'll think of it when I get there. Yeah, I don't know. Whatever it was, I can't remember it. So I guess I'm gonna move on to the chapter and then yeah, I'm blanking. Okay, I will be right back. I'm gonna load up my battle preps. Okay, so here we are. As I think I already mentioned, this is a route chapter. I believe it's the last one in the game. From this point forward, I think it's all defeat boss. This is actually like a smaller, lighter force than we've seen in the last couple of route chapters in Part 4. You know, it's still a sizable number of enemies, but not as much ground to cover, and no like sort of difficult terrain to deal with, other than just like the actual like gaps here. Hades, apparently. And we've got some better units to play around with too, so it ends up being like actually like a significant step down in difficulty. Plus, we get to consolidate all of our good units into one army. As I mentioned, there's like just an absolute horde of generals. Plus, we got some sages and bishops and a couple of snipers. There's long-range stuff. There's a guy with a sleep staff here. Hetzel has a silence and a sleep over here. There's a guy with a bolting here. There's a guy with a physic here. There's a guy with a blizzard here. This is the guy that literally the Lagoos like are incapable of killing. There's a guy with a double bow here that we want to get for Shinon. Another physic. I think that's it in terms of long-range stuff. Lacane up here has the rewarp staff, which I don't know under what conditions he uses that. I don't think I've ever seen him do it, to be honest. Yeah, I guess even in 0% growth, there's like no way for you to like soft lock yourself out of being able to kill this guy, because Ike can always kill him, even if it takes multiple turns with the Ragnell. And like, if Ike is dead, then you get a game over anyway. So I guess it's fine that the Lagoos can't kill this guy, but it's pretty annoying when your force is this heavily comprised of Lagoos characters. And then if you're not familiar with the tiles that I was talking about, so like here's an example of the cover tiles. They don't. There's nothing about them that would suggest that they do what they do, but you can see in the upper left that they've got the 10 defense on them, and they do have a different design, so you can at least tell that there are tiles. Period. So yeah, these are the cover tiles. This is a block of Wardwood, which gives 10 res. This is a block of cover tiles. This is a block of cover tiles, and then this is a block of Wardwood tiles. The chest up here has the Metronos Staff, which is this. It's a 3-use staff that fully heals the target at range, like a physic, and also raises their biorhythm to its highest point. I wouldn't mind having it, but we're not going to get it. Anyway, we're bringing everyone, so we don't have to go over that. So let's finally get this show on the road. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is have Scrimmer come over here and use a Lagoos gem. He's going to enemy phase these 3. If they all hit him, I believe they're going to put him into resolve range. 47, 43, and 41. They do like, so it's like 11 and 9, it's like 20 damage. 47 is 15, that's 35. Yeah, that would be enough to put him into resolve range. And the reason we want to put Scrimmer over here is because these guys have 25 speed, and 26 speed, which is to say running can't double one of them. Whereas over here we've got 25 speed, 24 speed, 24 speed, and 25 speed. Running has 29 speed, so he can double all of them. So to that end, of the guys up here, we got 26 speed, 26 speed, 26 speed, 24 speed, 25 speed, and 25 speed. So this is the guy that's most convenient for running to kill before he goes over there. So that's what we're going to have him do. Let's come up here with a hammer and bop this guy. And then he's going to come over here and set up to enemy phase these 4. And then Nasala, we're going to have come up here and try to kill this guy and set up a chant to the left. Okay, I guess it doesn't... What we might do if that guy was alive doesn't matter since he's not. Next, Kanegus is gonna walk right through this guy and attack this other guy here who we need to die so that Raphael can chant there. And I'm going to also bring Gifka up and have him use the Lagoon's gem. He's going to get chanted as well. We're going to go ahead... one thing I didn't mention. I bought some Lagoon Stones for Ina and Kurth. We already had some. So we have plenty of those if we want to use them every chapter for Ina and Kurth, and then later for Nasir and Gareth. We should be able to do that. So Kurth is going to come up here and use one... We don't really need him to be, like, proper Transformed. We could just half-shift him, but, I mean, it's obviously, like, safer for him to be, and we don't really need him to do anything turn 1 anyway. Same thing with Ina, so she's going to come up and use Lagoon Stone. And then that is going to... So Ina being here is going to set Nyla up to deal some extra damage to this guy. Now, I mean, she could potentially one-round him by adapting or proccing Savage, but now she does 29 times 2 instead of 24 times 2, so... Yeah, okay. He would have died anyway, but, you know. It's good to make sure. And then Stefan is going to get some extra damage out of this as well. Not enough to guarantee a one-round KO, but... Let's be real, Stefan's going to kill this guy. And Kurth is behind him, providing him some defense, which probably won't matter, because he probably won't get attacked. On enemy phase. Well, actually, no, I think he will get attacked by one of the sages. So he also provides res, so that is relevant. Anyway, next up, we are going to have Tivarn come up and kill the guy with the double bow. And yeah, so if this guy was doing the bonus damage, if Tivarn didn't have Nullify, he would be doing an extra 44 damage, which would mean Tivarn would take 67 damage and survive with 1 HP. So, you know, we're gonna... Okay, well, he missed anyway, but not have to deal with that, fortunately. Thanks to Nullify, which, incidentally, that came on Gifka, which is why we have access to that. And then Raphael is gonna chant for these 4. And Shinon is going to come up and trade... that was what I wanted to talk about. For the double bow. And just do some chip damage to this guy. To set up a kill for Ike on him next turn. Yeah, what I wanted to talk about is the supports. I threw some supports in that are just, like, basically placeholders. Like, I have no real, like, useful pre-existing supports. I wouldn't even really consider the Micaiah Soth support useful pre-existing support. So right now I've got Nisala and Scrimmer, Tivarn and Shinon, and... Oh, they're not in range, so you can't see it. But, and Ike and Nyla. None of these provide any attack, so it doesn't matter, but you know, whatever. Anyway, next up we're gonna have the Lions come up all the way up here and kill these 2 bishops in the back and set up to enemy phase some of these generals. None of these generals move, but they'll get, you know, a couple of them on enemy phase. And we're also gonna get rid of one of this sleep staff here, so we don't have to deal with that. Hetzel will prefer to silence Micaiah over sleeping anyone, and Micaiah has a restore staff, so who cares? Then, let's see. Let's have Nasala come up and kill this guy with the bolting right here. Then he's going to come back to here. And then Tivarn is going to kill one of the sages over here. This guy. Okay, he missed. That's good. We don't have to worry about healing Tivarn. We probably wouldn't anyway, but Tivarn, so he already took the double bow shot. He's also going to come over here, where he could get attacked by this guy, although I think one of these sages will attack him first anyway. Alright, so since so we don't have to worry about healing Tivarn, we are going to want to heal Renning. But, well, we probably won't. Probably won't have to heal Ike even if he does take damage. But what I want to do now is have Ike attack this guy with a hammer. Because, like, so we could have had Shinon attack this guy, and then we'd have the kill set up for Ike. We could also have Sonicky attack this guy, but I want to see whether Ike can proc Ether. Okay, perfect. Because if we don't need to do that, then that means that we can have Sonicky attack this guy. Oh, not with that. With the meteor. Which otherwise she would do next turn anyway. But this is going to set Shinon up to be able to kill that guy next turn. And then we can have Micaiah come up. We're going to have her heal Renning. We've got Oliver's staff ranked maxed out, so we might as well have her be the one to do that. This is also a spot that is safe from these guys who are going to come in over here, and is also safe from this guy with the blizzard right here. And then Oliver is going to come up. He's going to equip his silence. He's going to trade Micaiah her restore so that she doesn't get silenced. And then Soth is just going to come over here, again, to stay out of the range of those generals. I think maybe I'm not required to deploy Soth, so I guess I could have just not done that. But I am going to use him to shove, so never mind. I want to deploy Soth. Oh, I guess there's something I didn't mention. So yeah, I guess you'll see it in a second here. Which is... Raphael on the cover tile survives with 1 HP against that guy. Which is one of the reasons I'm not concerned about taking him out turn 1. Also, it just would have been hard to get anybody up there who could actually do it. Like, if I could, like, you know, have one of the birds stand on, like, the gap tiles and kill him, then I would have just done that. But unfortunately, they're not allowed to do that. Alright, yeah, so Renning, if... Okay, well, I was gonna say, if he gets hit by all 4 of these guys and doesn't proc Soul, he'll die. Which is obviously not very likely. Ah, nice. See, there's the Roar proc that we want. Okay, well, he definitely won't die now. Yeah, he definitely will not die if he dodges 3... or 4 of the attacks. Well done. Okay, we got Scrimmer into resolve range. That is good. We get 1 reinforcement, 2 reinforcement. They both have brave weapons, which is a little annoying. Okay, so first thing I want to do this turn is just go ahead and take out this guy with the blizzard. Boink. Alright, and now what we're going to do is we're going to set up a chant up in this vicinity. We're going to kill these sages, and we're going to set up to have Stefan come over and attack Hetzel with the Tempest Blade to carve out space for Koenigus to run up here and attack. These guys don't move. I guess maybe I should have called out some more of that, but these 4 guys don't move. Well, these 5. These don't move. This guy doesn't move, this guy doesn't move, this guy doesn't move, this guy doesn't move. So, excuse me, yeah, we want to kill Hetzel. These guys are all super durable because they're standing on cover tiles. So I'm going to kill Hetzel, and then, put Koenigus in the middle of them so that, we can deal with a bunch of them on enemy face. I will say, Koenigus doesn't actually one-round them, and I considered giving him an energy drop to solve that. But it turns out that we don't really need him to actually successfully enemy phase all of them to the point where they're all dead. We just need him to deal enough damage that we can clean them up on the next turn, because we're not going to 2-turn the map anyway. First thing I'm going to do is smite Stefan, and that is going to get him into range to come up and kill this guy. And then, I guess we're going to be moving Nyla up there, so I'd like to have Ike come up and finish this guy off while he's still in support range. That's the guy that Shinon shipped last turn. And then... So we're going to want to chant for Nisala and for Tivarn. For sure. And probably Nyla. Because the idea is that, I want to say... we could... No, I'm thinking, Nyla's the one who we're probably going to have attack this guy, because, even though, obviously, we could have Koenigus get the guaranteed kill and then chant for him, this is going to give Nyla the ability to, get all the way up to here, if we want her to attack somebody else up here. And other than that, it doesn't really matter. So... let's start with Nisala. We definitely need to take out this guy. Don't necessarily need to take out this guy right now. So let's have him do this. And put him up here. And then Tivarn, I think, is going to kill this guy. We're going to start working on clearing out this little ledge here. I'm up here. And, oh yeah, and Gifka is going to actually attack this guy from here. Just one-shot him, but so the idea here is that so Gifka is one of the ones who has Nihil, so Lagoon can attack him, whatever, we don't really care. He's going to do some damage to this guy on enemy phase. He won't kill him unless he activates Roar, but we'll get him to a point where we can chip him down, make room for him to come in and kill Lagoon next turn. Because Hetzel has like 19 defense. Lacane has 23, 47 HP, 42 HP, and then like plus 10, so it's actually 29 defense and then 33 defense. Anyway, the point is that we're not necessarily going to be guaranteed to be able to kill Lacane with Stefan, and Stefan also doesn't have Nihil, so prefer not to rely on that. Anyway, alright, yeah, let's bring Nyla up here. Attack this guy. Alright, she's gonna kill him. And then we need to do some shoving of Raphael. Actually, probably want to see what I want to do with my healers first. So let's have Renning come over. Yeah, so Renning doesn't double this guy. He deals 26 times 2 is 52 damage to Renning. So Renning can actually go another round with this guy. Yeah, alright, so let's do this. Alright. Now this guy, if we leave him alive, it's possible this guy will heal him. Which would be pretty annoying. So, since Renning did not proc Soul, let's, I think, kill him with Sonic-y. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. So that leaves us with... I would like not to have to shove Raphael with Ina, because I want to get her up here so we have the strength buff available. So... we can use Soth. Like I said, we're not going to try to get this chest anyway. If we wanted to get the chest... If you went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the next turn 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus a smite would get him to the chest. But the problem is there's going to be somebody standing there next turn anyway, so there's not going to be anywhere for him to get it from. Because he literally, it's only this spot you can open that chest from. Anyway, and then we've got Micaiah, we've got Oliver. I think... I mean, I guess it doesn't really matter which one we use. Let's... Actually, it might matter a little bit. Excuse me. Because we've got this guy over here. We might actually want Oliver to fight this guy a little bit. And set up a kill for somebody like Shinon or Ike, who won't be able to double him. It's, I assume, yeah, 25 speed. Yeah, so let's have Micaiah shove. And then, yeah, Stefan. Hopefully kill Hetzel. This is like the one attack in this chapter that really needs to land as a kill. I would say there maybe there's others that I'm not thinking of, but that one is certainly key. Kanegus is going to come up here and attack this guy. Okay, kills him. It doesn't really matter super much, but I mean, we don't really want that guy to be like attacking Stefan on enemy phase and having him do relatively little damage. And then, yeah, so Kanegus does 66. So this guy has like an effective 42 defense. So Kanegus is going to do 24 twice. 25 twice to this guy, 24 twice to this guy. So he's not going to quite kill them, but they're going to be in range for us to clean up next enemy phase. So that should be fine. And then, we definitely we're gonna want Tivarn to come down here and take out this sniper, and then set up to enemy phase this guy. Tivarn probably will not one round this guy either. Yeah, 24 twice. But he'll at least get him into a range where like we can either finish him off with running, or Tivarn can finish him off, or whatever. And then Nyla, I think we want to have kill this guy, since Nyla can kill the other guy. And then we can bring Nyla over this way to have him, like, kill this guy and then Kanto out next turn. Although... this guy can be doubled by running, so we might actually not want to be doing that with Nyla necessarily. On the other hand... so there's going to be 3... bishops that show up here as reinforcements next turn, and Nyla's certainly going to end up killing one of them if he doesn't kill this guy, or you know, killing one of them after he gets chanted or something along those lines. So I think if we assume, basically it depends on, maybe it doesn't depend on whether this guy dies. If this guy does die, then running just kills this guy. If this guy doesn't die, then maybe running kills this guy, and then Nyla kills this guy, or maybe Tivarn kills this guy, and running kills this guy, and Nyla. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just gonna put him here. Alright, so... Nyla can take this guy out from the Wardwood tile. Not that it really matters, because she isn't gonna get hit, but, you know, it's kind of nice. And yeah, let's have Oliver come over and chip this guy like I was talking about. It's doubled, but the guy doesn't deal very much damage, especially with Earth Naga sitting there. And then Ina, we're just going to have come up this way. And, oh, Scrimmer, right. So Scrimmer will kill this guy, because he'll double him. And this guy... he will not quite kill. This guy does kind of a lot of damage to Scrimmer. Potentially 18 plus 9 is 27. Well, I guess there's no reason not for... there's no reason for Scrimmer not to attack this guy. I think attacking this guy is theoretically unsafe, because if they both hit, if this guy hits him and then gets to hit him again, you know, that's a problem. But attacking this guy should be safe. So let's do that. Lots of damage. Oh, yeah, that'll work too. Oh, cool. Oh, that's not as cool. I had not considered that might happen. Huh. Why did that not happen before? Maybe I shouldn't have killed this guy. I don't remember who this guy healed before, but I don't remember him healing this guy. That's what I'm confused about. He probably did heal somebody that Scrimmer was fighting. I don't know who else he would have healed. Don't know how I'm going to deal with that. It's really very annoying. If 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I mean, if Stefan can kill Lacaine, then it's fine. But if he can't, the problem is, if we have to use like one of Gifka and Kainagus to kill this guy, and the other one to kill Lacaine, then neither of them is standing on the spot where Lacaine is to enemy face these guys. And if we have to chant like here, then we're only chanting 2 people instead of 4, which might actually not be a problem, because I've usually got some spare actions on this turn, but let's see. Alright, so Renning is not killing this guy, which means we do need to have Tivarn kill this guy. Renning can kill this guy. Nisala can kill one of these guys. Scrimmer is definitely at risk of dying, although with the extra void, maybe he's not really at risk of dying to this guy. I mean, like, 33 hit before Resolve, and that's Resolve is going to add 26 avoid. Yeah, I'm not super concerned about that. I'm gonna go ahead and make that attack. Sure. Okay. Let's see where he. Getting there on the strike rank. Okay, so that potentially frees up Kurth, because one of the things that Kurth can potentially do on this turn is like deal a little bit of damage to that guy if Scrimmer doesn't kill him. Since he did, can Kurth kill this guy? Yes, he can. Okay, so that's a thing that we could do with him as well, and that would free up Soniki or Shinon or Ike, whichever one we wanted to have come down and kill this guy. But freeing up Shinon isn't that valuable, but like Shinon does. Actually, well, having Shinon be able to shoot Lacaine might actually be pretty useful. I see no reason not to have Kurth attack here, at the very least. So I'm gonna do that. All right. So let's look at what we're doing over here. We're gonna need to. So what we're gonna do is, like I said, Renning is gonna kill this guy. Tivarn is gonna kill this guy. Nisala is gonna kill one of these guys. Then he's gonna get chanted, hopefully. Then he's gonna kill another one, and then he's gonna canter over here and kill all of these guys on enemy face. And that is going to be glorious, and maybe going to be enough to get him to SS strike rank, or maybe not. I don't know. So let's look at, okay, so 45 attack from you against 33 is only 12 damage. We do have Shinon come in here and chip. And he hits. Then 739. All we need to do is proc Adept once or crit once or something with Stefan. We potentially wouldn't even need to chant over there. We just shove Stefan. Although, I don't know how we shove Stefan. I guess we could do it in the Sala. That takes away a kill from the Sala, but I mean, that's not a huge problem. Unless... No, never mind. Because, you know, if we leave somebody standing here, then the guy with the Tomahawk or the Tempest Blade can attack them. Yeah, we would need to get him one extra space over. We'd also need to get Gifka out of the way. So actually, wait, maybe we... Maybe what we do is we have... If Gift... Oh, no, wait, that doesn't work. So this guy is a little bit too bulky for Kainigus to one round. This guy, he does one round. He does 26 times 2 to this guy. This guy's taking some damage, so he would as well. I'm trying to think of what we do with Gifka to get him out of the way. Maybe we have Gifka run over here and attack this guy and make sure that he dies in enemy phase. And... if I had moved Nisala to here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, I could actually chant like here and here. And then I could chant, I could have like Gifka kill this guy and then get chanted. And I mean, if I want to chant for Nisala, which I do, I mean, admittedly, mostly for reasons of greed, but like, I do want to chant for Nisala. So... If I did, like, not chant for Nisala, right? I chanted for Gifka. What does that look like? That... like, the only enemies we have to kill at this point are this guy, other than what I was talking about, like, what I've already discussed, are these three and this guy. The plan for how to kill this guy is Tivarn flies over and kills him, which means we have to chant for Tivarn. Tivarn can make it all the way over there. So we could have Tivarn, like, attack one of these guys. Or no, sorry. He wouldn't get to attack one of these guys, but he has to attack this guy, but he flies over here. Having done that, gets chanted from here, and then comes over and kills this guy. Sonic-y can do some chip damage to this guy if we need that to be able to ensure that he dies on enemy phase. If it kills this guy, gets chanted, kills this guy, and then Kainigus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, Kainigus can't get all the way over there. That is a problem. That is a problem. We need to chant for Kainigus. Because Kainigus needs to come over here and, like, kill this guy so that he doesn't attack. Well, no, wait. Yeah, so he doesn't attack Gifka on enemy phase. That's right, if Gifka is killing Lakane. Alright, maybe we are going to go with the Stefan plan, then. In which case... if Gifka attacked this guy, we have Shinon, shoot Lakane, we send Stefan through, we can chant for Stefan, we can still have Sonic-y chip this guy, we still have Kainigus kill this guy so that he can't attack Stefan on enemy phase. Alright, that's what I'm gonna go with. Oh wow. It's a good thing Gifka can actually kill this guy. Now we could also... We could have tried to set up... But what we could do is have Shinon get boosted up to 20 damage by Ina. I think I'm going to do that. Might as well have Ina attack one of these guys. I think they all have 23 speed. No, actually, that one guy has 24. Alright, we're going to attack the guy with 24 speed then. In case we want to have Ike kill him. And then Shinon will also be more accurate. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So somewhere around here is where we need chant. I mean, here would almost certainly be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is enough for Kanegas to get all the way over there. It's certainly enough for Tivarn. It's certainly enough for Nasala. So let's go with that. If we put Nasala here, then you can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and yeah, okay. So let's have Nasala kill this guy. And Tivarn. Come down here. And Renning is gonna kill that guy. And Ike is going to kill that guy. Put Kanegas over here. Stefan, we could have killed this guy, but obviously that's Nasala's kill, so we won't. Okay, Stefan, don't fuck up. He didn't. He got hit, but he didn't cancel. He didn't adapt. He didn't Astra. But he also didn't get hit by Flare. so it's all fine. And I guess the way that we could have gotten the chest here is if Kanegas had the chest key and he had Savior, we could run up, rescue Stefan, open the chest, and attack, and not attack. We don't need to attack because this guy, you know, they would both die in enemy phase once we chip this guy with Sonic Key, and then we'd be good to go. I wonder how plausible that would be. He would need to not have Nihil, and that's for renewal. It's Savior. Huh. Yeah, I might consider redoing this for that, but I guess if you're listening to this, then you know that I decided it wasn't worth the bother. In any case, we can have Nasala do this thing. Come up here. Micaiah, can you get far enough to... Heal him? No. But you can get far enough to heal somebody. That's exciting, I guess. Tivarn. Kill this guy. Anagus. He only needs 1 damage on that Silver Axe guy. Which, it occurs to me if I had set up to chant for Ike, although I don't know who I would have not chanted for instead, then Ike could run up here and chip the guy instead. I could save the use of a Siege Tome, but I've got a backup Meteor, so it's not really a big deal. For that reason, go ahead and use the Meteor rather than the Blizzard. And then I don't think there's really any chance of these guys killing Nisala. But excuse me. But I'm gonna check. 43, 46, 50. He's got so much avoid right now. 124. But I guess we'll just go ahead and heal him. Whatever. I haven't even found a use for Nyla this chapter or this turn. Just sort of what I meant about extra actions. The problem is she can't like go around here and kill this guy. She would need to also have pass, so. And then I guess we'll raise Micaiah's staff rank a bit. And talk to Ike. Yep. You can do it. Get to SS Strike. Let's go, Nisala. Get there? Yes! Okay, you know what? Screw the staff. I don't care. I want to save the one where Nisala gets to SS after 4E1. Amazing. Amazing! Oh, that feels so good. Yes! Yes! Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yep. It was all worth it. The screwing up how I was going to kill Lacane and risking that Stefan was gonna die because I managed to let that one guy get healed. Yeah, like I said, it must be that the previous time for whatever reason, I didn't attack with Scrimmer. Maybe there was like an extra guy that he didn't roar kill, or I don't remember. Or maybe he had to kill that guy, and so the other guy was still alive, or something like that. It must have been the case. I didn't realize that was like a possibility, but so I think in theory it turned out to be like correct for me not to attack there with Scrimmer, but whatever. Somehow that resulted in Nisala getting to SS Strike, which he did not in my practice attempt. So I'm very pleased, and I don't care about the Metronos Staff compared to that, and I don't want to reset and have him not get there. Anyway, that is 4E1 in 3 turns. Next up will be 4E2, where we get the Wishblade that we can't use because we have literally no Lance users in our party. Like, it's not like they can't reach SS Lances, they can't even reach Eve Lances because they literally cannot use them. And also, I guess there's like a showdown with like some important character or something like that. Anyway, thanks for watching, and until then.